Hi folks. As you know, the communists in China dominate the United Nations and control the UN's World Health Organization. Who? He's on first. That's who. How did this happen? In essence, what this proves is that these world organizations are worthless. Let's go back to what we would consider the first one. World War I ends and the victorious nations get together, except the United Nations, the Senate did not approve us joining what was called the League of Nations, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It was supposed to bring world peace because the First World War was labeled the war to end all wars. Well, around 1936, Mussolini, the Italians, they invade the African nation of Ethiopia. Well, the Emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, he addresses the League of Nations. Please get the Italians out of my country. And the League of Nations said, get lost, will you? A few years later, the Second World War begins and the League of Nations collapses because it was worthless as a world peace body organization. So now the Second World War ends and the dummies get together, the Allies, and they say, golly gee willikers, forget about the League of Nations, we're going to start a new organization. And we're going to call it the United Nations and headquarter it in the city of New York. And in their charter, the United Nations is divided between two bodies. The General Assembly, and then we have the prestigious Security Council, which primarily oversees the whole UN. And it was to consist of 5 members. The 5 allied nations at the conclusion of the Second World War. Russia, the Soviet Union, France, the United Kingdom, the United States, and China, the Republic of China. That's who the 5 members of the Security Council were to be made up of. So now if we look at the Security Council today, look, the Republic of China is not there anymore. Oh, China's there, but it's the People's Republic of China. The communists are there. Wait a minute. The Security Council was supposed to be made up of the 5 allied nations at the victory of World War II. The communist Chinese were not part of that victory. In essence, they were a hindrance to that victory. So what happened? Let's look at the U.s.s. Missouri in Tokyo Harbor in 1945 when the surrender was taking place. And you see these people over here? They represent the Allied nations. And this gentleman here, he's Chinese. But he's not communist Chinese. He's part of the Nationalist Chinese government. His name is Shu Young Chao, something to that effect. There was no communists aboard the U.s.s. Missouri that we know of, representing Mao Zedong and the communist government. Around 1971, what happened was the morons at the UN threw out the legitimate government of China, the Nationalist, which was now headquartered in Taiwan, and they replaced them with the communists on the Security Council as one of the 5 victors. But they weren't one of the 5. So as a result of having these gangsters, these thug communists on the UN Security Council, they then infected the whole of the UN to make it worthless, a bunch of despots and thugs. And they also took over the World Health Organization, crumbling the worthiness of the United Nations, such as the League of Nations. The League of Nations betrayed Ethiopia and world peace, and now the United Nations, thanks to the commies in China, they betrayed Taiwan and the world health in this, as we're currently experiencing. Proves to you folks, the League of Nations, the United Nations, 2 world bodies, 2 worthless world bodies. We need to do away with them. That real estate in the city of New York, where the UN is currently housed, needs to be given back to the state of New York or wherever they got that land from. All right, folks. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya.